We have chosen sites where people work, where they go to for leisure, and also we've focused on blocks of flats, which is going to be one of the most difficult places for charging to be installed because you don't own the building, you don't own the infrastructure, even though you live there. We've also carried out research surveys at each site to understand what people are looking for their charging and what's stopping them from buying electric vehicles at the moment.
Bolney Wine Estate is a wine manufacturer. We make sparkling wine. We've also got considerations as to how we grow grapes in a sustainable, environmentally sensible way. I think having an EV charge point is really a part of that overall thinking around our corporate social responsibility. I've had an electric vehicle now for around 3 years and I've really enjoyed every moment of it. There's 2 charge points here, so even if somebody else is using one of the charge points, the chances are I can reverse in and the other charge point will be free. I think what's also true to say is it's quite a nice community of users.
I'm on my 5th year of electric vehicles. My current car is a Tesla Model 3 long range. One of the things that's quite significant about EVs, and you don't realize it until you've done a few miles, particularly on the motorway, is that all the background noise that exists within a car, the engine humming away, the gearbox noises, that all falls away. So it's a much quieter, much more peaceful environment to travel in. So you can do really long distances and not feel so tired. Now that there is a charge point here, you can connect, and within an hour and a half of you having lunch here, there is plenty of miles back in the car. So it makes visiting here much more enjoyable. And it has extensive solar panels everywhere. So I feel really happy about the fact that it's real clean energy that goes into my car rather than from a power point somewhere at home.
We had the 2 charging points put in about a year ago, and at that point there were no EV drivers in Maritime House, but since then there are 2 more electrical vehicles, me being one of them. I've fallen in love with driving electric vehicle. It's smoother, it's easier, it's comfortable. The charging ports are very easy to use, just one simple app. The pod points seem to be more reliable than others in the area, but there's definitely a need for more.
I'm always trying to be as sustainable as possible and thinking about the planet, and I could see it was the future. So 4.5 years ago, I put my deposit down on the Tesla. Normally, I'd charge the car at home, but since the port has got the chargers from Brighton Energy Co-op, we've been able to charge here. It's charged from the local PV arrays that they have, which is also really beneficial to reducing carbon emissions. And then it's actually cheaper to charge here than what it is at my home. So that's a double win for me.
For each of the organisations, we had to go through agreeing a different type of licence agreement, and then once that was agreed, doing an electrical survey and working out where's the best location for a charge point. If you had to put the charge point in a parking bay, which is 100 metres from the electrical connection, you have to dig up a lot of tarmac, which is going to cost thousands of pounds. So it's a lot easier to put the charge point on a wall or just dig up a small amount of grass. When the charge points have actually been installed, there's usually a process of letting the charge point operator, and so in this case pod point, know that they've been installed, setting up the billing, and then they have to appear on the relevant app or ZAP map, which is a national map.
The Next Generation funding has enabled us to understand more about potential and existing EV drivers' needs and requirements when it comes to charging in their local area. We've been able to see all of the data for the actual charging events that are happening. When people are charging, time of day, whether the solar was generating on site at the time that charging was happening. We're also working with a student from the University of Brighton, and she's looking at locations for charge points within communities that wouldn't typically be the first to have an electric vehicle. And all of those pieces of information are critical to understand whether this is a business model that can work for community energy groups going forward, particularly in the combination with solar PV and charging together.